The biggest question when anyone starts lifting, should you cut or should you bulk? Let's talk about it. This is something that I've gotten asked a lot lately, and this is probably the biggest question I see for anyone who starts working out, and that's, should you bulk or should you cut? First off, I'm gonna go over the people who should cut, and then I'm gonna go over the people who should bulk. And then I'll drop a third final approach that I think a lot of people could apply to themselves. So stay tuned. But first off, let's just jump right into it. So, should you cut? Cutting, I think if you are at a super high body fat, like let's say above 25%, or you're severely overweight and you're at risk for like heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, any of those things, then yes, I think you should go on a strict cut. Even if you were a bigger guy like me, I think that you should incorporate some strength training into your regimen. Also track your protein a little bit, but I would focus on just, losing weight, getting toning the muscles, getting your diet down, getting down protein intake, just learning, kind of how your body responds to certain workouts, certain programs. However, I think a lot of people do approach it wrong. I don't think, a lot of people just will go on a strict cut, eating 500, 600 calories a day, starving themselves, doing endless cardio. And I think that's wrong to that extent. I think that you should be doing it in a healthy way, eating a nice, healthy, well-balanced diet, doing a nice strength training program. I think everyone should strength train. The benefits of strength training can't be denied. No matter what, you're gonna get better muscle support, better bone structure. It's gonna help you pretty much overall any functions you do in your life. If you think about it, everything you do is a push-pull, lower upper movement. However, a lot of people will go on a strict cut. I'm talking 500, 600 calories just to lose all this weight real quick, not even doing any lifting, not doing any strength training, saying, oh, I'm gonna lose all this weight real quick and then I'll build muscle. And that is a really wrong approach to it. I don't think you should approach it like that. I think a strict cut like that is really unhealthy and really messes with the whole long-term goal. Especially if you want a nice physique in the long run, that's just gonna make it longer and harder to get to. Hey yo, bro said longer and harder. Let's say you don't have any muscle definition, or if you've never seen your abs before, if you can't see your abs. I think obviously you don't have to see your abs to be healthy, but if you've never seen them before in your whole life, go on and cut them, man. Go see your abs. Only thing is that you can get skinny fat from it if you aren't untrained, so watch out for that, which is why I recommend sticking around for my third option, because my third option is a great approach if you're skinny fat, kind of scared of getting skinny fat, or not really having muscle definition. We're all about wanting to have a nice body overall. See me, I'm really big on how you look in the mirror and how you look, how your body fat percentage is, how much muscle mass you have. Weight doesn't really matter. To me, I could care less. I lost over 80 pounds and I didn't check the scale until probably at least 70 pounds in. I do not care. I do not care. Weight is so overrated. Imagine hyperfixating on your weight and then getting so demotivated, unmotivated because you didn't drop down a couple pounds. That's insane. That's not me, but like I said, if you're severely overweight, have a super high body fat percentage, or not at risk for hypertension, diabetes, anything like that, I think then you should go on a strict cut. That is for who I think should go on a cut. But stay tuned if you're kind of skinny fat, or you were kind of big like me and don't want to just, go on a strict cut and still want to build muscle, still build a decent physique. Stick around. Okay, so number 2, who should bulk? Who's bulking? Who's bulking? What is bulking? Bulking is when you eat in a calorie surplus. So you could literally eat an extra 50 calories and technically be bulking. That's why we also have a thing called lean bulking, which is something I think a lot of people should do. I think majority of people who are trying to put on muscle mass and are already kind of experienced lifters should go on a lean bulk. In terms of all-out, traditional dirty bulk, I never actually recommend this because you are just putting on excess fat that you don't need to put on. And we've all been a victim to the dirty bulk, me included. I've been 12%, 10% body fat, and then boom, dirty bulked all the way up to 20, 25. Very bad, very bad. Do not recommend it. Bro was down tremendously bad. Do not want to do that again. Do not want to do that again. It's always a lean bulk from now on. Even if I ever do bulk, it's a lean bulk. It's a lean bulk. How to do a lean bulk? Lean bulk, you're going to be eating a 200 to 300 calorie surplus. You're not going to be pigging out. You want those calories to be healthy calories, healthy carbs, more vegetables, more fruit. In terms of dirty bulking, if you're anorexic, borderline, you're going to die if you don't eat soon, you really need to eat, then okay, eat whatever you want, man. I don't want you to, be in the hospital or whatever. Eat, bro, eat. But if you're really, really skinny, dangerously skinny and no muscle, no fat, nothing, eat, bro, eat. Go on a full-on dirty bulk, hit the gym, go crazy. But if you're like not even skinny fat, but like you could do it skinny fat too, you know, that'd be way better than just going on a strict cut. I would even recommend a lean bulk over going on a cut for someone who's skinny fat. Lean bulking is going to be for people who are coming off their cut and want to put on muscle in a healthy way. See, me, I lost over 80 pounds and it's hard for me to bulk. It's so hard because putting on fat is like just messes with your brain so much when you've been a former fat kid. So definitely want to go on a lean bulk and really minimize that fat gain. And then plus, you know that the size you're getting, the weight that you're gaining, the size that you're putting on is actual muscle and not fat. Because it can be really misleading when you got some fat and then a pump over that fat. You think you have more muscle than you actually have. So definitely recommend a lean bulk over anything. Anyone, you know what I mean, who's trying to put on muscle, be in a calorie surplus, go on a bulk. That's what I think. Yeah, obviously it could still mess with you, you know, just gaining weight, your clothes fitting tighter. You are gonna put on a little bit of fat regardless. Like that's what's going to happen. That's human dynamics. Real talk, I've bulked up before and I felt strong. I loved the strength gains, but I felt bloated all the time. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel aesthetic. Being a former fat kid, it kind of felt weird for me, honestly. I think honestly, a lean bulk's the way to go if you are gonna bulk. But yeah, that's for my people who should bulk. But now, my third option, which a lot of people don't know or a lot of people don't apply, especially for someone who's skinny fat or someone who is fat like me, overweight, you still want to, you know, put on some muscle, you still want to look good, you don't want to just lose weight and become skinny fat, or if you're skinny fat, you don't want to just cut down to nothing. What I recommend is a body recomposition. I will link a video down below. I have an all-out video on that. But I want to go and dive into it a little bit more, kind of in an updated way. A lot of people don't know this and don't apply this, and it's crazy to me because you could literally burn fat and build muscle at the same time. You heard me? Burn fat, build muscle at the same time. And that's called a body recomposition. How do we do this? Let's talk about it. A body recomposition is when you put your body in a fat burning state while gaining muscle. And the people who can do this are people who are untrained, newer to training, or let's say you took an extended break and you lost a lot of gains. Obviously, to do this body recomposition, you gotta obviously have some fat on you. Like if you're like 10%, 12%, you're going down that lean bulk road, then that bulk road. This body recomposition is more for my bigger guys like me, or even if you're just skinny fat. You don't even have to be that big. Like you could literally just be like skinny but still have some man titties or something like that. Like it's cool, man. It's cool. No shame here. No shame here. So how do I do this? I recommend that you be in a calorie deficit of 200 to 300 calories. This is gonna enforce that fat burning state while not asking too much of you, because the bigger the deficit, obviously the harder it gets to maintain your lifts, train hard, all those sorts of things. 500 calorie deficit is usually the rule of thumb, but that's just for people on a basic cut. I think if you're at a 200 calorie deficit, you still have that opportunity to still build some muscle. And let's talk about how we do that. So in terms of building the muscle while you're in that fat burning state from that 200, 300 calorie deficit, you are going to then, this is how I say it, you want to eat like you're cutting, but you want to train like you're bulking. And how do we do that? Let's go into it. You want to train for progressive overload. You want to progress in your lifts, whether that be going up a couple pounds, whether that be an extra rep. Say you do that rep a little slower at a pause, or you just do it more challenging. Like all of those are a variation of progressive overloading. Just going a little slower up on the bench, holding a pause for a second, that's progressive overload. You made the rep harder and you worked harder. You overloaded. Hey, yo, bro said loaded. Hey, yo. But anyways, practice progressive overload. Try to just always get stronger. Obviously, train for hypertrophy as well. Hypertrophy is training for the size of the muscle to grow the size of it. You know, people say they train for strength or size. We're not worried about, you know, hitting PRs or, you know, doing powerlifting. But I mean, you still want to train hard. You still want to do a weight as heavy as you can for like barely 6 to 10 reps. And you know, 6 reps, if you're barely getting it up for 6 reps, that's still hypertrophy. I know a lot of people say 8 to 12 reps is hypertrophy, but you can still get hypertrophy on 6 at a higher weight. So just had to get that out there too. But yeah, so with that being said, burning fat, we want to be in a 200, 300 calorie deficit. Building muscle, we want to be training with progressive overload and for hypertrophy to put on as much size as we can while being in that calorie deficit. And then in terms of cardio, don't skip cardio, man. 30 minutes every day, especially after your lifts. Because when you're done lifting, your body is in a metabolic state where you're actually burning calories more than if you didn't lift. Look it up. It's true. So don't skip your cardio. That's another huge thing. Just had to get that out there. And I know we're kind of dragging it, but I just had to let y'all know this third option is a super viable option if you're skinny fat like I was, just trying to gain a little bit of muscle, you know, while burning some fat. Then a body recomposition is the perfect way to go. But with that being said, I just wanted to get a quick video out to y'all about a couple options on what to do if you're first starting out. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Insta, you can hit me up on YouTube, or you can hit me up on TikTok. I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope y'all have a good day. I'm gonna have a good day. I'm gonna catch y'all later. We coming at it all summer now. School's done. I'm going all in on the content this summer. We're talking way more videos, way more content, way more interactions. We're doing a lot this summer. So with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good day. Y'all keep working. I'm gonna keep working. Peace.